Okay, welcome to the special video, The World of Tomorrow, What to Expect. So when we talk about, our world, which is facing a rapid expansion of new ideas, technologies, economic models, how will the future look like? How it can create a profound change in our lives, our future, our businesses, our work, the healthcare staff, etc., etc. The technological innovation and the accelerated evolution of the technological society will give rise to historic debates. But one thing we gotta keep in mind is, what do we actually value? How can privacy be defined? How can we define humanity as a whole? Leaders must make choices to guide the outcomes of these debates into a future that will actually go ahead and strengthen our economy, enhance our global security that provides for more than 15 to 20 billion people. Each one of us is poised to help build the future we want. That should be a future where change can broaden opportunity. But in fact, there are lots of robotic technologies that are emerging too. In the future, robots will live like virtual humans. People might think it may be a huge threat, but in fact, robots may actually go ahead and help humans at one end. A future where we harness or make the full use of science and technology to contribute to the human story. Even there may be a lot of perils of economic decline. There can be a rise of economy. You have to think both ways. To build this kind of future, we must harness even our spirit of discovery. And we must come out determined to create the next tomorrow. Our world may be facing a rapid expansion of new age ideas, incredible technologies that are creating a profound change in our lives. Never before the future has looked so exciting when we think about it. There can be autonomous vehicles to the most cutting edge green technologies. The built environment will be reshaping before our eyes. It can be exciting. It can give rise to new challenges. The future will also require a new way of doing things, a new approach, a new vision. The future world vision would be an interactive, immersive, unbelievable experience. The growing population and the most advancing technologies that will emerge will push all kinds of even civil engineers to reimagine the entire future. Mega cities must be able to have around 50 million people while preserving the history, promoting the sustainability, and supporting the various lifestyles and all the kinds of economies. There will also be rising stuff, something like floating cities, a world vision immersiveness. So, this kind of immersiveness would put you decades into the future, right? The futuristic floating cities will have and boost of new infrastructure solutions. Because of the rising sea levels that threaten coastal city flooding, that would never happen in a floating city. And when we think about all this stuff, all this new kind of stuff, all this futuristic stuff, Jules Verne, the father of science fiction, comes to my mind. He would be, more than, say 187 years or maybe 200, I think 190 years old if he was still alive today. He would have lived in an era of steams, ships, and telegraphs. He might be able to imagine technologies that weren't even invented for over a century. Verne, in the mid 1800s itself, predicted all the following technological advances long before they were ever invented or even thought of by mankind. Verne was a French author who wrote the books 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and Around the World in 80 Days. These were the top books, the best-selling books of Julius Verne. You can Google for Julius Verne. These kind of books were full of world exploration and mythical monsters that Verne explained and hypothesized in a Victorian, science-loving fashion. So when we talk about Verne, the prophetic fiction Verne wrote was very eccentric and crazy, right? So he also wrote about submarines and all this stuff, but the best thing, the technological inventions he wrote about, weren't the only thing that he wrote about ever. He had a keen eye for predicting cultural and political change too. So all kinds of, stuff Verne would do. He read a lot on lots of different subjects. Like a lot of people, Verne's parents had their own ideas about his career. They had their heart set on Verne to become a lawyer. Verne, you gotta become a lawyer, they would have said. What if Verne had become a lawyer? We would have lost all the kinds of visualizations, the kind of novels he would have written, right? Imagine. Verne knew that he wanted to be a writer. Okay, but he played along. He went to school to become a lawyer like his father. He was just pretending to study law in Paris. Eventually, he came clean to his family. He went to the National Library of Paris. He went on to read a lot of articles and discoveries in geology, science fiction, etc., right? So he wanted to write in a new genre that tied in travel and science. Okay, so he was, studying a lot of stuff. He surrounded himself with people, and and he wrote a lot of amazing, incredible novels. He predicted a lot of things. Basically, the predictions, right? Because he was paying a lot of attention to things, the predictions mattered the most. So, you'd have got an idea, right? How the digital technologies will be transforming the entire world. See, typically, what we look at, the innovators like Verne, who see the future of the world, these kind of people are very rare. So definitely, guys, once in a decade or once in a century, these kind of people emerge. And when we look at a world where there is no kind of limitless possibility ever, one has to create the connections. One has to invent a lot of things. One has to make the unimaginable possible in order to shape an exciting and positive future. That one can also be you, right? So you also play a crucial role in shaping the future. The future technologies, where artificial intelligence, the connectivity, what do you call as a kind of a new mirror world might emerge, right? A thrilling future, a future that's going to completely take over by technology. Travel, the future of healthcare, the future of homes. Everything is going to be something different. How robots, how automation is going to transform our everyday lives from work to the home. How multiple medical revolutions will improve and extend life, and the potential impact of driverless and pilotless cars, trains, and planes may also go ahead and shape the future of the world. The world would face ever accelerating change and great global challenges when it tries to enter a future era. The society will look like artificial intelligence is everywhere. It look like it's paying a lot of attention to artificial intelligence. The general AI will also begin to take away jobs from the people, millions of jobs. But at the same time, AI will also help at one end. So, the revolution would go much further. AI robots will care for the elderly too. There are scientists at Popular University are working with Hasbro to develop a robocat that can remind its owners to take their meds and can track down their eyeglasses, right? So like this, many people are working, AI scientists, to solve the puzzle of dark matter. AI-enabled spacecraft will reach the asteroid belts, while on Earth, the technology will tame and pave the path for climate change. Perhaps by sending massive swarms of drones to reflect sunlight away from the oceans. AIs will colonize and transform the entire universe. Imagine one day you ask your AI-enabled wrist device to tune into a broadcast, okay, and AI would actually go ahead and do that. So the ultimate stuff that really happens is all the kinds of futuristic technology should be embraced by us. See, all kinds of technologies, any kind of stuff can be good or bad, but we must learn how to embrace all the stuff. Then our future will be really, really great. The previous generation of humans, the next generation of humans, the current generation of humans. Just imagine the kind of change that is happening. How was the previous, how were the previous 100 to 200 years? How is the present 100 years going to be? And how is the future going to be? Just close your eyes and visualize the future. You'll get an idea. Definitely, I think you guys would have gone through this ultimate course. You guys would have got a clear picture. Now it's up to you to do the magic. Go ahead, research on it, and write the article in the assignment section.